Everyone, good morning. Today's 11th of February, and I welcome you all at the Hindu newspaper analysis discussion. So, guys, let's start with the video. In the today's video, we are going to discuss the entire analysis of the Hindu newspaper. We'll take all the articles with the background as well as the way forward. Now, before starting, I would like to tell you that you can download the explainer notes of this entire session from the Telegram channel, and the link for the Telegram channel is given in the description box in YouTube. So you can download the explainer notes from there. Now, before starting, we will be taking up the overview of entire newspaper so that we can understand that which articles are actually important in the today's newspaper. So starting with the overview. So guys, the first article here we can see Supreme Court calls for SEBI response over the Adani stock fall. So recently we have seen that the Hindenburg report was published, and after that report Adani's stock prices they went down. Because of that thing, a lot of market cap has been lost. Now Supreme Court is asking the response from SEBI. You are not required to go too much in this particular article for the sake of examination, so not that much needed. Then side article, resources for states raised sharply. So guys, here the article is talking about that now the finance minister is saying that much more enhanced allocations have been given to the states, and in fact the states are not raising their own revenues, and all such kind of things are going on. So you are not, guys, really required to follow these kind of articles for the examination, because this is a kind of political these political commentaries and such things are not important. Moreover, nothing concrete has come in this particular direction till now. Then after that, welfare push in poll year Rajasthan budget. Okay, so regional issue. Fine, industrial output rises moderates to 4.3%. So guys, here it is talking about that this India's industrial output moderated to 4.3% in December 2022 compared to November. So I have told you this particular thing many number of times that every month's data is not that much important. So every month's import, export, industrial output data is not that much important. Okay, I'm your family member. We'll see one article on Daudi Bohra community, because in this particular direction there is one matter that has also come. Then guys, here we see the regional issues etc have been given. Okay, not much important for the examination. Then these tenders etc, Rajasthan's budget, fine, all these things are being discussed here. ISRO successfully launches SSLV D2 satellite put in orbit. We'll see this article with respect to exam. Aerospace startup launches big dreams of young schoolgirls. We'll see the article as what it is talking about. Then again, advertisements, political news, etc., tenders, etc., have been given. So nothing is important here. Then we reach to editorial page. Now on editorial page, first article, India's law and order metrics needs reboot. We'll see this article with respect to exam. Then side article talking about the Nagaland election, not important article, it's a political article. Then further moving on, below article, in scholarly peer review, discard both water, keep baby. We'll see this article as what it is talking about. Much important thing is not there though. However, we'll see that the relevant substance. Then guys, today is Saturday, and on Saturday there is a ground zero report that comes. Now this ground zero report takes certain issues from the ground zero and talks about the problems that the people are facing. So today this ground zero report talks about the battle against child marriage. So recently in Assam there is a drive that was carried to crack down onto the child marriages that have happened. We'll see this article and we'll see that how it is having certain implications on the social justice, whether it is good step, whether there are some limitations, that we'll discuss. Then today on Saturday we don't have text and context page, so that is not there. Now coming here, our government doesn't indulge in vote-bank politics. So these are, guys, largely the political commentaries that have been there. No need to go too much here. Now, suitability of a candidate cleared by collegium can't be subject to judicial review. We'll see this article with respect to the examination. Then Prime Minister flags of 2 Vande Bharat trains in Maharashtra. Okay. Then further moving on, Supreme Court dismisses Hindu Sena plea seeking to ban BBC. Not important article for the examination. Then guys, further moving on here, Animal Welfare Board calls off cow hug day on February 14. Okay, no need to go too much here in these kind of articles. Then here we see this thing, important article has come. Discovery of lithium deposits in Jammu and Kashmir to cut down import needs. We'll see this article for examination, important article. Then side article, larger bench to hear plea against Daudi Bohra practice. We'll see this article also. Fine. Then after that, wildlife enthusiasts sports 145 species. Fine, we'll see that whether this article is important or not. We'll take that also. Then further moving on the world page, Russia attacks targets across Ukraine with missile drones, China US spar. So guys, Russia Ukraine war, now every day's day to day commentary is not really very important for the exam, so no need to go there. Then recently we have seen that a Chinese balloon find drifted in US, and because it entered in US's airspace, US shot down that balloon. China says that that was a civilian purpose balloon. Okay, whatever USA has done, it is clearly an overreaction, but US says that it was a threat to our national security. So on that shooting down of the Chinese balloon, this confrontations are continuing between US and China. Then further moving on, Adani shares extend slides as MSCI cut free float of 4 firms. Now corporate trends, corporate issues, not very much important. Again, Mahindra and Mahindra's quarter profit, etc. And then we have the sports page. So guys, these corporate trends, stock market related issues, etc. are not really that important. Now, so that is all guys about the overview of this entire newspaper. And now let's discuss all the relevant articles one by one in detail. Okay, now taking up. So today we'll take in GS quotation. So every class we start with a GS quote which can be used to complement your questions in GS paper number 1, 2, 3, 4, or it can be used to complement your essays as well. So today we'll take the quote from the Justice A.K. Sikri. So Justice A.K. Sikri says that education took us from thumb impression to signature. Technology has taken us from signature to thumb impression again. So today we have biometrics. To authenticate our identity, we put a thumb impression. So from the education took us away from the thumb impression to the signature, but now again we are coming back to thumb impression. So now this actually incites a very provocative kind of a thinking, that is this new technology that is coming is enabling us, or is it making us more and more dumb? Are critical reasoning, critical thinking improving with the coming of technology, or our critical reasoning thinking skills are going down because everything has been decentralized to computers, technologies, etc. So whether we are becoming more aware, whether we are becoming more rational, whether we are becoming more educated, we need to see that particular thing in broader perspective. So that is all guys about this particular quotation. Now moving on and let's take the first article. So guys, here the first article that we are going to take is from the newspaper and talking about the discovery of the lithium deposits in Jammu and Kashmir to cut down the import needs. Now first of all guys, this particular article will see with respect to the prelims examination as well as in GS paper number 1 resources. GS paper number 1 resources also will see this particular article. Moreover, in GS paper number 3 also, how it will impact Indian economy, we can understand it. Now, first of all, before going in this particular article, when we talk about guys lithium happens to be a strategic mineral in 21st century, which is driven by fourth industrial revolution. In fourth industrial, now how I'll connect on that particular thing also, guys. When we talk about the fourth industrial revolution, it is characterized by driverless cars, it is characterized by artificial intelligence, internet of things, etc. But along with that fourth industrial revolution, there is also one more movement that is going on, that is shift from conventional technologies to new age technologies. Okay, shift from conventional technologies to new age technologies. And in that particular thing, a shift is apparent towards new age cars as well. Now these new age cars will be powered by they will be powered by batteries, they will be powered through electricity. So we have the electric vehicles. Now as we talk about electric vehicles, these electric vehicles are powered by batteries, that is the lithium ion batteries. So lithium ion battery happens to be a very important component in the electric vehicles. Moreover, as we talk about electric vehicles, they are also going to play a very important role in India's target to achieve carbon neutrality by 2070. So guys, in COP26, in okay, so understand this particular thing, that COP, Conference of Parties 26, that was held in Glasgow, in 2021. So COP26 2021, India took that we will become carbon neutral by 2070. Now, when we talk about carbon emissions of India, larger chunk of carbon emission is because of the vehicular emissions, mobility emissions. So therefore, electric vehicles can help in achieving the carbon neutrality. Now, in this particular capacity, guys, as we want to make EV vehicles, we need to have lithium ion batteries. We need to have lithium ion batteries. Today, we are importing the lithium ion batteries from countries such as China. Now, we have discovered lithium in our own country, that is Jammu and Kashmir. One thing I want to tell you very clearly, guys, this is not the first time or this is not the first resource of lithium in country. There are other resources as well. So please be careful, because such kind of questions can be asked in the prelims examination. Now, when we talk about the lithium, before going here, guys, in this particular article, what are the regions which are the where the major amount of lithium is found? So here we have a kind of a lithium triangle or golden triangle. Okay, now here we find that three countries, that is the Chile, Argentina and Bolivia. So these are the three countries of South America, that is Chile, Argentina and Bolivia. So here this is the lithium triangle or the golden triangle of lithium, where majority of lithium explorations happen. Now coming to India. So basically, guys, what has happened, why the news? Because recently geological survey of India has provided this thing that there are the inferred lithium resources of 5.9 million tons that have been found in Jammu and Kashmir. So Salal Haimana area in the Riasi district of Jammu and Kashmir, these inferred lithium resources have been found. Now, this particular thing can be very important. Why? Because, guys, understand this thing, that when we talk about lithium, as India is moving towards the trail of the EV vehicles, it is going to help India. Okay, so therefore, lithium can help India to achieve the goal of the EV cars, and in a way, it can help India to achieve their climate pledges. It will help India to achieve the climate pledges. So this is one importance. Second importance is there, guys, that the Jammu and Kashmir, after dilution of Article 370, Jammu and Kashmir region has come on par with the entire rest of India. Moreover, government promised when Article 370 was diluted that more employment opportunities, economic opportunities will be given to Jammu and Kashmir. So basically, now the lithium exploration can provide a lot of employment opportunities, here. Then, guys, thirdly, when we talk about lithium, we are importing lithium from countries such as China, and now by this particular discovery, India can move towards Atmanirbharta. So India's Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan will also be fulfilled, as we might be able to reduce the import dependency. Will be able to reduce import dependency. Is it clear or not? So therefore, this is a kind of an important thing. Moreover, guys, it can also give a boost to, now India can give a boost to battery development industry in India, as well as the EV manufacturers will get a boost, and therefore export capabilities of India can also be enhanced. Export capabilities in terms of the batteries, in terms of EV vehicles can be enhanced. So all these are the benefits that are going to be there because of this particular exploration that has been there. Fine. Now here you can see this particular point. That today the country imports its lithium needs from the countries such as China. But here we see this particular thing, guys, that with China, we are not having very good relations. Moreover, confrontations with China also have increased post 2020 when the Galwan Valley episode happened. Recently also in the Tawang Valley also, there are the confrontation with China that has happened. So therefore, now we will be able to reduce the dependency, and therefore it could be a strategic move as well for India. So these are all the important issues. Now, there are certain challenges also that has come here and these also we need to discuss. Okay, one more thing guys, I am telling you here that for this particular article I have not taken only the material from the Hindu article that we discussed above. Moreover, other sources also I have taken up here, so please download this PDF. Now first of all guys, one specific thing I want to tell you here, that the finding that has been there. So here we have found the ore which contains bauxite. Now bauxite is the ore for aluminium. Now it contains the ore for bauxite, it contains the ore for some of the rare earth elements and as well as lithium. So bauxite, lithium and rare earth metals, okay, they have been found together. Now there are certain issues, there are certain challenges, there are certain challenges. Now let's discuss these challenges also one by one. First of all guys, number one challenge that has come here is that Geological Survey of India had said that they are the inferred lithium resources. If you focus on this word, inferred lithium resources, what is this word inferred lithium resource means? It means that it is that the grade of the lithium that will be found. Now guys, any mineral had a different kind of a grades. Okay, so for example, different grades of coal are there, different grades of iron are there. Now when we talk about iron, fine, many different grades are. So first of all, the grade, the mineral content. Now understand this particular thing, that when we talk about ore, what is ore? Ore is a rock. Ore is a rock in which a particular mineral constituents are significantly higher, so that you can mine that particular mineral economically. Okay, now understand this thing. In a rock, you have certain quantity of a particular mineral. If that quantity is exceptionally high, then mining that particular mineral out of that rock is economically more viable. So in a rock, how much quantity of a mineral is there, it is very important. Now mineral content, the grade of mineral, fine, which is there, it is doubtful, this is what we mean by the inferred mineral resources. Means that there is a low confidence. See, finding, it is found that okay, lithium is there, but the grade of lithium, mineral content in that rock, fine, right now we are doubtful on that, whether it will be economically viable, whether it will be economically feasible to mine it or not. So therefore, with a low level of confidence, this particular discovery has been made. So therefore the word inferred lithium has been used here. Now over the period of time, this particular thing will be cleared more. So this is one thing, and we hope that basically this founding actually is a kind of a new opportunity for India, but still we need to find it. Second issue that comes here is that there is a kind of a, the amount of lithium that is being speculated or that is being estimated, it is relatively low. So if you focus here in the first line here, we have seen that around 5.9 million tons of lithium reserves have been found, but guys, it is not that much compared to the major producers. For example, when we talk about the when we talk about Bolivia, 21 million tons, fine, Argentina 17 million tons, 6.3 million ton even in Australia. So point is that though we have found it, the quality, the grade is right now also disputed. Moreover, the quantity is also not that much, so this is going to be an issue. Okay, now moving on guys, some additional information about this. So when we talk about lithium, guys, lithium can be extracted through different ways. The first one of the way of extracting the lithium is through the evaporation, is through the solar evaporation of large brine pools. Now guys, what do we mean by the brine pool? So brine pool, now if you now you might be knowing about the Sambar lake. So Sambar lake, basically there are the big salt pans. Now these salt pans, they are evaporated and remaining salt we get there. So basically brine pools are the pools where there is a lot of salty water. When you evaporate that, you get the salt. In the same way, the Sambar lake has also shown certain indications that by evaporating the water of the Sambar lake, we can also collect the lithium in the limited quantities. Okay, so basically from the brine pools, salt pans, when we evaporate it, we can get the lithium from that. Moreover, then we can also get the lithium from the hard rock extraction. Fine, hard rock extraction. You will extract it from the rock directly. Now in India, we found both the two types of lithium. Brine pool lithium also we find, and as well as hard rock extraction. Now the resources that have been found in Jammu and Kashmir will be of this category, that is the hard rock extraction. Now guys, as we talk about the presently, so basically the salt pans, salt pools in the Sambar lake, that is the brines of Sambar, Panchprada area in, so brines of Sambar is in Rajasthan and Panchprada is in Run of Kutch, Gujarat. So in Run of Kutch, Gujarat as well as in Rajasthan, some lithium exploration can be taken from the Sambar lake and from the Panchprada. And then when we talk about the hard rock exploration of the lithium, so in Rajasthan, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, fine, there are certain resources that have been found. So basically in the belts of Odisha, Chhattisgarh, along with that there are some of the geological hard rock explorations of lithium that can be carried. So these are guys all the resources of lithium ion, that are lithium ore, that are there in India. So understand this thing, there can be a question that can become that for the first time this discovery has been made in India. So you need to understand, no, it's not the first time. Earlier also the resources have been there in these particular regions. So that is all about this particular article. Now moving to next article. Okay, so the article reads that suitability of a candidate cleared by collegium can't be subjected to judicial review, Supreme Court. Now this particular article will see with respect to GS paper number 2 judicial issue. GS paper number 2 judicial. Okay, now first of all, before going in the details of this particular article, let me give you some of the background information that you need to have. So from past few days, guys, there is an issue that is going on. Basically, the name of a lawyer was cleared as an additional judge. Okay. So basically, the name of a lawyer was cleared as an additional judge. Now what has happened? Basically, we don't need to, guys, first of all use particular or specific names that okay, this advocate, that judge in your examinations. So deliberately I'm not using the name, and you should not also use them in your answers. So one of a lawyer was suggested by the collegium to be appointed as a judge in one of a high court. Now after that particular name was cleared by the collegium, lawyers said this thing, that this particular lawyer's name shouldn't have been cleared because she had made the hate speeches in the past. So therefore now they are protesting. Now guys, that particular matter has again reached to the Supreme Court. Now Supreme Court has to take a call that the lawyer who has been selected as a judge, can that particular decision be annulled? Can that particular decision be cancelled or not? So here Supreme Court has specifically provided that we cannot do the judicial review on the suitability of a candidate who has been cleared by collegium earlier. Okay, let's understand this particular issue little bit in more details. Fine, let's understand it in little bit more details. Okay, so basically now what has happened, the Supreme Court has explained this particular thing, that the suitability of a candidate, here the lawyer which has been cleared to be appointed as a judge in a high court. So this suitability which has been cleared by the collegium, we know this particular thing, guys, that when the appointment at high court is concerned, Chief Justice of India and two senior most judges of the Supreme Court clears that particular matter. So a candidate who has been cleared by the collegium, okay, his decision whether that was correct or whether that was not correct, it cannot be the subject of judicial review. This is a very important thing that has come here. Moreover, here Supreme Court also provided this particular thing, that right now in this particular matter where the name has been cleared by collegium, we can neither issue the writ of certiorari, that is quashing the recommendation. We cannot quash, we cannot cancel the collegium's decision, nor the writ of mandamus, that is calling upon the collegium itself to reconsider its decision. None of these writ can be issued to the collegium. Okay, why? Because when we talk about collegium, guys, in the collegium there will be the Chief Justice of India, there will be the 2 Supreme Court judges at least. So 3 people are there already in the collegium, and one single judge or a group of judge cannot say that they can issue an order on this particular collegium. So therefore, this is the issue that has come. Now guys, here it has been provided by the Supreme Court also, that the lawyer whose name has been cleared to be appointed as a judge at the High Court, that lawyer's conduct, the lawyer's duty, first of all, transcends the religion, linguistic, regional or sectional diversity. And as an additional judge, she will always be under the scrutiny of the lawyers, litigants and public. If she again makes such kind of references, if she again makes any kind of a hate speech, she can be held accountable by the lawyer. So we need not to worry. Moreover, this particular bench, the Supreme Court bench, has also explained that there is a difference between two words. Number one is suitability and other is the eligibility. Suitability and eligibility. Eligibility is one thing. For example, eligibility to be appointed as a judge of a high court, it is mentioned in Article 217. Now, Article 217, for example, provides that a person needs to be citizen, 10 years of experience as a judicial officer or as a lawyer needs to be there. So this is eligibility. Okay, once eligibility has been achieved as mentioned under Article 217 of the Indian Constitution, next comes after eligibility the matter of suitability. Now, there are many people in India who clear this particular eligibility, but everybody cannot be made as a judge. Who will be made as a judge? That thing will then be decided by the collegium. So, deciding the suitability of a candidate was in the domain of collegium. Okay, it involved that whether they are designed to, basically the fitness of that person, the person's character, integrity, competence, knowledge, that has to be tested, and on that particular basis, a person's name will be cleared as a judge. So suitability is in the domain of collegium. Okay, eligibility mentioned in the constitution. Now, guys, this is very important. Understand this thing. In exam also, such questions have been asked in the past. For example, now the question can be framed in the prelims examination that the Constitution of India defines the suitability and eligibility of a person to be appointed as a judge at a high court. Fine, now the statement is true and false. There can be the question that the statement 1 is true, statement 2 is true, both statements are true, both statements are false, such kind of a question. So you need to understand that Supreme Court clearly provided that only Constitution mentions eligibility, not the suitability. Okay, so these are, guys, the issues from where even now the questions are being framed. So please be very, very careful on such kind of things. Very, very careful. Okay, now moving to the next article. Okay. Moving to the next article. So guys, I hope that this particular article is clear. Now this particular issue is going on for so many of the days. Okay guys, first of all, tell me, is it clear or not? Yes guys, is this article clear or not? Please tell me. Please let me know immediately. Now, moving on to the next article. ISRO successfully launches SSLV D2 satellites put in orbit. Okay, now let's understand this particular article, guys. Now, first of all, before going in this particular article, I would like to give you some of the background information, and after this background information we'll go in this particular article. So basically, guys, we have PSLV, GSLV, fine, PSLV, GSLV. These are the workhorses. These are the workhorses. Workhorse means any equipment which is the most important to an organization, fine, which is most critical to an organization. So guys, right now we see this particular thing that the ISRO, okay, Indian Space Research Organization, has launched so many of the satellites in the different orbits, low Earth orbit, basically sun synchronous orbit, geosynchronous orbits. ISRO is launching satellites both for India, as well as ISRO is also launching the satellites for the private corporations such as the Indian startups, as well as the foreign governments, foreign startups. ISRO is launching satellites. Now, whenever a satellite is to be launched, you need a launcher, you need a launch vehicle, and we have two of the most reputed launch vehicles, not only in the India but in the entire world, that is PSLV and GSLV. But guys, PSLV and GSLV are very heavy launch vehicles. Okay, it means they are designed to place very heavy payloads in the orbits. But many number of times there are very small satellites. There are small satellites, there are micro satellites which weights somewhere around 20-30 kgs, or sometimes even 5-6 kg satellite are also there. So using these big launch vehicles such as the PSLV, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, PSLV, GSLV doesn't make some sense. So therefore, we need to establish a separate range of launch vehicles which will be equipped specifically to place these small satellites, micro satellites, or small payloads in the Earth orbits. So therefore, we are developing the SSLV class of launch vehicles. SSLV class of launch vehicles. So basically, guys, SSLV will be a separate class of launch vehicles. So what we'll have here, we will have PSLV. Okay, we will have PSLV, we will have GSLV. Okay, and along with PSLV, GSLV, now we will have SSLV. SSLV. Now, first of all, what does this SSLV means? What does this SSLV means? So, SSLV, it stands for Small Satellite Launch Vehicle. Small Satellite Launch Vehicle. It has been launched, developed specifically by the ISRO. Okay, and it is a low-cost, compact rocket designed to launch small satellites into the low Earth orbit. Now, low Earth orbit, it is at the range of somewhere around 490-500 kilometers from the Earth's surface. So here, SSLV will be launching. Now, maximum payload capacity, maximum weight that it can carry, it is 500 kg. So therefore, it is specifically suited, it is specifically designed for small satellites for the various applications, and it can place the satellites for remote sensing purposes, communication, find technology demonstration missions. What is a technology demonstration mission? Technology demonstration mission wants to prove that certain application is possible. Okay. Now, when we talk about, guys, the SSLV, so basically, this is the second launch of SSLV, that is the D2, that is the second launch. Now, the first launch of SSLV was made in 2022 August, but that time it was not completely successful. So, it has been called as a non-success. So, therefore, now the second flight of the SSLV has been made. And one more thing, this is the first launch by ISRO of 2023. First launch of ISRO by the ISRO of 2023. So SSLV D2 has been launched. Now, this SSLV D2, what has happened? This SSLV D2 has placed actually 3 payloads in the designated orbits. So it has placed number 1, ISRO's Earth Observation Satellite EOS-07. Secondly, it has placed US based firms Andres Janus 1 satellite in the orbit, and thirdly, it has also placed a satellite called as AzadiSAT. Now, AzadiSAT is a satellite which has been developed by a Chennai-based space startup. Chennai-based space startup. This space startup is Space Kids. Okay, so these 3 payloads have been successfully deployed. ISRO's Earth Observation Satellite 07, US-based Andres Janus 1 satellite, and Chennai-based startups satellite, that is AzadiSAT 2. Now, this particular lift happened from Satish Dhawan Space Center, that is in Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh. Okay. Now, as we talk about, guys, this AzadiSAT 2, it is also important one. Why? Because, guys, there is a very interesting kind of a trivia, interesting trivia associated with AzadiSAT. So this satellite has been, the payload for this satellite has been designed by 750 schoolgirls, which have been specifically be identified from the socio-economically poor families. So these 750 girls, they have been identified across India, and they were specifically guided to develop the payloads for this AzadiSAT 2 satellite. Now, these girls were from government schools, and they are studying in class 8th to 12th, and majority of these girls, they come from rural pockets and are economically weak. Niti Aayog has helped to identify the 75 government schools where these students were picked. So guys, this is actually a very, very important, and this is a very good example that how the children are being enabled, here. So this is a very good example, we can use it. Fine. So that is all about this particular article. Now moving to next article. Okay. First of all, let's read the heading. Larger bench to hear plea against Dawoodi Bohra practice. Larger bench to hear the plea against Dawoodi Bohra practice. Now, we'll see this particular article with respect to the GS paper number 2 polity. GS paper number 2 polity. Okay. Now, first of all, let's discuss some of the background of this article, and then we'll go in this article as what it is talking about. Now, basically, guys, when we talk about Dawoodi Bohras, okay, so Dawoodi Bohra is a community, is a religious community. It is a community from following the Muslim religion, Muslim religious community. Now, understand this particular thing, guys, that first of all, we have article number 26. First of all, before going in this article, let's understand article 26. Okay, so article 26. Now, what is the article 26? What it talks about? So, article 26 talks about freedom to manage religious affairs. Freedom to manage religious affairs. And in the article 26, we have subclause B. Subclause B talks about to manage its own affairs in matters of religion. So, if you follow a particular religion, then your matters of your own religious faith can be managed by you, can be managed by your community. So, fine, here, subject to public order, morality, health, every religious denomination or any section of a religion have the right to manage its own affairs. So here, Dawoodi Bohras. So Dawoodi Bohra being a religious community, they can also manage their own affairs pertaining to religion. They can manage their own affairs pertaining to religion. Now, in this particular thing, Dawoodi Bohras, they have actually a practice as a part of their religion. That is, practice to excommunicate their members. Okay, excommunicate means you remove certain people from your community. You boycott these people from your community. The people who don't follow the customs of your religion, the people who don't follow the social rules of your community, those people will be excommunicated. They will be boycotted from your community. Okay, so this is one provision that they follow. Now, basically, guys, this provision that they are following, it comes in conflict with certain laws. For example, there is Maharashtra Protection of People from Social Boycott, Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act of 2006. So, Dawoodi Bohras living in Maharashtra, when they excommunicate the members from their community, they come in violation of this Maharashtra Protection of People from Social Boycott Act. Now, there is a conflict. Dawoodi Bohras, they provide this particular thing that their practice cannot be called as illegal. Why? Because they have protection under article number 26B of the Indian Constitution. Moreover, this particular thing has been recognized by Supreme Court in one of the judgment also. That is Sardar Sayyidina Tahir Saifuddin versus the State of Bombay case 1962. Okay. Sardar Sayyidina Tahir Saifuddin versus State of Bombay case 1962. In this particular judgment, what happened? Supreme Court has specifically provided that the religious faith tenets of the Dawoodi Bohra community, okay, as well as the power to excommunication, the power in the provisions of their religion in which they are excommunicating their members, it is the part under article, it comes under the scope of article 26B of the Indian Constitution. So, Supreme Court has specifically provided that their practices come under the scope of article 2 to 26B. Article 26B is a fundamental right, and fundamental rights cannot be taken away just by a simple law. Is it clear or not? So, now this particular matter has come in conflict, and therefore this particular matter has reached to the Supreme Court. This particular matter has reached to the Supreme Court. And now read the heading. So, a larger bench, okay. So, basically a 9-judge bench, a 9-judge bench has now been referred this particular matter. So, referred a larger bench of 9 judges as a series of petitions. Now, this particular matter has been referred to a 9-judge bench, and now they will rule again on this particular matter. Clear? So, this is, guys, the entire issue that has come here. As of now, no judgment has come. When judgment will come, we will see what the Supreme Court says in this particular direction, because, guys, this judgment is going to be a template on many other kind of things also. Because just let me give you one examples, not related to this, but a similar kind of an example. For example, recently it has been ruled by the Delhi High Court that the girls who have attained the puberty, they can marry as per the Islamic personal law. As per the Islamic personal law, they can marry the girls who have attained the puberty. Now, a girl attained puberty around the age of 14 or 15 years. So, a girl of 14, 15, it means can be married under the Islamic personal civil laws. But it comes in conflict with the Prevention or Prohibition of Child Marriage Act. Clear? So, here we again see that a personal law or a religious practice is coming in conflict with the established law. What is more supreme? So, these matters have been raised time and time again. So, what final judgment will come, we'll see. Till then, you need to know that what is this issue going on. Okay. Now, guys, this here, the role of this knowing background comes. If we know this background, fine, just we need to read the heading. Okay. It will take just 1 second, 2 seconds. Okay. That now this matter will go to that bench if you know the background. Okay. So, therefore, over a period, when you know majority of the backgrounds of the articles, reading newspaper will not take much of that time. Okay. Now, India's law and order metrics needs a reboot. India's law and order metrics needs a reboot. Now, this particular article we'll see with respect to the GS paper number 2, law and order. GS paper number 2, issues of law and order. Now, guys, telling you very frankly, telling you very clearly, okay, please don't develop a FOMO, that is fear of missing out. But this article doesn't contain much of the relevant substance for our examination. Okay, that is the truth that I am telling you before even starting this particular article. Now, you'll understand that why. You'll understand that why. Now, first of all, guys, what this particular article is talking about. Okay, so this particular article, guys, is talking about the All India Conference of Director General, Inspector General of Police, which was held recently. So this is analyzing this particular conference. Now, hundreds and hundreds of such conferences at the level of center and the states are organized every year. UPSC never asks that, okay, tell us the key takeaways of the recent All India Conference of Director General, Inspector Generals. Every organization has their own conferences on such kind of a line. Now, what this particular article is talking about? This article is talking about that this All India Conference of DG and IGP that has been now held, okay, it has superseded an earlier conference, that was the annual conference of heads of intelligence and CIDs of the different states. Now, this particular article is talking about this thing, that the earlier format of this conference used to discuss only some specific themes. For example, it used to discuss mainly the nitty-gritties of police work, intelligence, crime and criminal investigation, technology, and the forensic aspects. These major things were discussed by this particular conference in its earlier avatar. Now, but what has happened? Now, this particular conference is dealing with many other issues. For example, policy matters, personal, personal matters, policy matters. Because of this particular thing, the article is saying that the focus on important subjects had become very much diffused. Now, see, if you have to discuss only 2 topics, you will be able to discuss it in much more detail, in much more depth. But if you have to discuss 20 topics, obviously, you cannot discuss all the 20 topics within the same time in much depth. You will just be talking on the superficial kind of things. That is the issue. Now, this particular article is just talking about this particular thing, that now as the scope of this conference has increased and now it is also taking up the policy matters, as now it is also taking the policy and personal matters, it is not able to. It is not. So, it has been provided that there is a little scope for any in-depth discussion. Delegates don't have that much scope. Now, the article is talking about that today's security threats, they have increased so much. Today, we have, there are the cyber crimes that are increasing. Dark web, many crimes are taking on to the dark web. There are the cryptocurrencies and their menace. Cryptocurrencies are being, bitcoins for example, are being used for terror financing, many such kind of things. There are maritime security, threat from drones, all these new age issues. Fine, unchecked social media, it is leading to proliferating of fake news, all such kind of a things. So these new kind of an issues have started to come. Okay, apart from that, left wing extremism, counter terrorism, drug trafficking, all these issues have become so much important, but we are not able to give too much attention on that. We are not able to give too much of focus on that because of new matters of policy and personal matters that have added in these conferences. Okay, so therefore the article is talking about that 21st century desires that we need to give some new age solution to these new age problems. Okay, so we need more innovativeness. We need to demonstrate newer cognitive skills, new age thinking. But how that thing will be possible? How that particular thing will be possible if these conferences are not dealing that particular matter so specifically? So this is the issue that has come. Now, some of the suggestions have been given in this particular article, guys. For example, the first suggestion that they gave here is that basically that we need to first of all, police officers. Uh, First of all, police officers, security agencies, they should be provided with the right attributes. They need to be given the right skill set. Okay, they need to be given a new age training. There also needs to be a top down approach. Okay, the chiefs and the higher ranking officials, they need to decide very prudently that which organization should be given the scarce resources so that they can deal with the new age challenges of crime and such kind of an activity. It is also provided that today there is need of a different mindsets. Okay, so police and enforcement agencies, they need to have a different mindset. With the old mindset, they cannot deal with the new problems. Okay, then the next thing, technological advancements have happened all around the world, which have meant that the human skills of security agencies need to be suitably tailored. Okay, so how we can tailor these new age skills in the aftermath of internet? So how we can such. Now there is one particular idea that has come, is the open source intelligence. First of all, what is open source intelligence? It is collection and analysis of data gathered from open sources to produce actionable intelligence. Now, guys, for example, social media post of some of the people, by observing the social media post, by observing the social media interactions, we can derive certain patterns, and these patterns can be used in intelligence. So how to use these patterns, how to draw intelligence on the social media on the basis of the openly available information, these are the new age skills, these are the technological skills that we need to teach to our to our security personnel. So this particular technological integration has to be done. Is it clear or not? Fine. The next issue that comes here in this particular action is that the article is talking about that this present conference is needed to be split in two parts. Part 1, there will be a conference, a high level conference that will discuss policy related issues, and then there will be a separate conference that will discuss the finer points of methodology, techniques, acquisition of new skills, etc. So this is the suggestion that is being given. Now understand this particular thing that I have told you, that very fine line, very fine arguments that have been given, which are specifically centered on this conference only. You need not to go, but when generic matters are there, general issues are there, that is something that we need to understand. So that is the basic approach through which I have discussed this article also. Now moving on to the next article. In scholarly peer review, discard both water, keep baby. Basically, guys, in this particular article, there is one important keyword that has been given. There is an important keyword that has been given. And this particular keyword we can use for GS paper number 4 ethics. GS paper number 4 ethics. Okay. Now, let me give you what this particular article is talking about. So, guys, understand this particular thing. Okay. Understand this particular thing, guys. That suppose you are a scholar, or let's say you're a scientist, and you have written a kind of an you have written a paper, you have, let's say, written a research paper, you have given some new theory, you have written, let's say, a kind of a thesis, So basically, your research paper, your theory, your thesis, reading your article, then they will research on your article. They will come out with the counter arguments. They will tell you that you had mistaken on this point. This point could have been put like this. That point could have been put like that. They will publish catalogs. They will publish their own papers. They will publish their critical arguments on your paper. So point is that so many people are reviewing your article, your paper, and are giving valuable insights. They are giving valuable time. They're publishing catalogs. All such kind of things are happening. This has been called as this particular thing. Just a minute. So basically, this particular exercise has been called as collective human altruism. Collective human altruism. This is an example of collective human altruism. What is altruism? Altruism is when you put yourself in pain, when you put yourself in discomfort to help some other person. That is altruism. So here so many people are working hard. They are taking their efforts. They are taking the pains to suggest you that what are the limitations on your research paper, in your research document. This is an example of collective human altruism. We can use this particular example in our GS paper number 4 ethics. Now guys, you guys are also doing the same thing. So we also have our peer reviewed platform. We also have the peer reviewed platform on which the people write their article answers and you review that. So this is an example of collective human altruism. Okay. Now basically, the article is talking about this particular thing, okay, that pre-publication peer review, it is this kind of exercise. It is a bedrock of modern scientific knowledge production. If such peer reviews will not be there, then basically this new age scientific knowledge will become meaningless, and always the reviewers are the unknown. These reviewers, they are not known to the authors. Fine. So the reviewers, they don't know the author don't know them, but in a kind of an altruistic manner, this particular exercise is going on. So this is something. This reviewing is almost always voluntary. There is no financial remuneration. There is no financial remuneration. There is not much academic recognition of the people even who are doing their review. But this is the kind of a remarkable contribution that the people are giving, and this remarkable contribution, okay, it is very much important for the scientific discoveries, for the scientific development. Now in this particular article guys, they are talking about that how many million articles are written. Okay, that now there a report published estimated that there are 28,100 actively scholar peer reviewed journals. Fine, with a 2.5 million articles. All these things are provided. Now they are not that much important. Now it takes 20 million hours annually for such kind of things. Not that much important, but key message is important that you need to understand here. So that is all guys about this particular article. And now moving to the next article. Okay, so this particular article guys, where it will be important GS paper number 4. Okay, now moving on. Sir, is it sufficient for prelims? Please reply. Guys, I want to address this particular issue. Sufficient for prelims. Guys, understand this thing. That before starting our session, I show you the entire newspaper. That this is the entire newspaper, and page by page, I tell you that this is article, these are the important articles, and all the articles that we take are important. We discuss it for the examination. Understand this particular thing, guys, that there is not a separate paper that is published only for prelims and another paper that is published only for the mains examination. Okay, current affairs is current affairs. Fine. Yes, some topics are more important for mains, which are opinion based, and some fact based articles are more important for prelims. But there is no such distinction made in newspapers, or there is no such distinction made by UPSC. So there is only one source, and you need to refer only one source because you don't have ability to refer to the multiple sources. So please refer to one. And as we are doing the complete newspaper, yes, it is sufficient for both prelims as well as mains examination. Guys, often what aspirants do, every day they are taking certain MCQs on some of the other websites. They say that these are the current affair MCQs, and on that particular basis they distort their preparation. they develop a kind of a unwanted fear that, okay, I attempted 5 MCQ current affair question on that website, I was not able to attend 3. Okay, so my preparation is not good. Why you are comparing with that? Just go and see the prelims past year questions. They're asking very broad questions. Okay, so point is that you don't need to go in that much nitty-gritty vis-a-vis your exam is concerned. Okay, so if you are preparing for exam, please be specific to one paper and please be specific to one source. However, if you are intending to do PhD only in one current affairs subject or that kind of a thing, or if you are preparing for some other kind of a thing, then it's entirely a different matter. Okay, now the battle against child marriages. Battle against child marriages. So basically, guys, what is this entire issue all about? To understand this thing, that recently, yes. So what has happened recently? Assam government has made a crackdown in the state where there are the child marriages that have been reported. Now, first of all, guys, there are certain acts, certain provisions that you need to know. Number one is the POXO Act. Number one is POXO Act. So POXO stands for Protection of Children Against Sexual Offences Act 2012. Now this particular act defines that any individual below the age of 18 years is a child, and any sexual intercourse with that person cannot be made. Even if that person has given a consent, then also the sexual intercourse with the person cannot be made because that person is a child. Then Prohibition or Prevention of Child Marriage Act 2006. Prevention of Child Marriage Act 2006 provides this particular thing, that minimum age for marriage for girls is 18 years and minimum age for marriage for boys is 21 years. So a girl below the age of 18 years cannot be married and a boy below the age of 21 years cannot be married. This is the provision of the Prevention of Child Marriage Act. So these are two provisions we have. Now, even then, as per the recently released National Family Health Survey 5 data, National Family Health Survey 5 was released recently. It provided that still 23.3% of the girls, 23.3% of the girls are getting married before the age of 18. Are getting married before the age of 18. So there are 23.3% girls that are involved in child marriages. Now, when a girl is getting married before the age of 18, it leads to many problems, many number of times. Because they are young, because they are not physically and biologically, because they are not equipped to bear a child, it leads to health complications. Many number of times their education gets impacted. Okay, all these issues are there. Now, because these child marriages are rampant, what has happened? Assam government had cracked down. Assam government had cracked down on such kind of a developments and have arrested the people, actually have arrested the husbands who have married the women below the age of 18 years. Now this particular article is giving the account of such people, that this man was arrested, this woman, the husband was arrested and all such kind of a thing. So these personal accounts are not important. These personal accounts, you are not need to go too much in these personal accounts, but we need to understand the issues. We need to understand the implications that are coming out of this particular development. So what are issues, what are the implications that are coming out of this particular development? First of all, when we talk about, guys, the states such as Assam, Assam has very high prevalence of child marriages. And when we talk about the high prevalence of child marriages, the states such as Bihar, West Bengal, Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh, they have high prevalence of child marriages. It leads to high maternal mortality. When the girls are young, 15, 16 years, and they are getting pregnant, there is a high chance of infant mortality, maternal mortality. Teenage pregnancy is itself a big issue. Fine. So therefore, these things are to be contained by arresting these people who are involved into the child marriages. But guys, the issue that has come here is that basically what we have do, now we are arresting the people. Criminalization is counterproductive in many of the ways. How criminalization is counterproductive? How it is problematic? Understand this particular thing. Basically, criminalization of underage marriages only leads to suppression or falsification of information on matters of age and the age at marriage. If you just suppress it, if you just criminalize it, what people will do? People will give the wrong age. Here, girls, they will be basically there will be the fake birth certificates that can be made, which can show them above 18 years, but actually they are not above the 18 years. So rather, criminalization is only the halfway. You need to empower the communities, you need to educate the communities, you need to educate the girls, you need to educate their parents. That is the most important thing that you need to do. Moreover, guys, it encourages the women for concealment. It strengthens the prejudices against the minorities. Many number of times, actually, when we talk about the there are, guys, many kind of practices which are equivalent of live-in relationships in many of the communities. They are there. I'll give you one example here. For example, guys, there is this Gobia Thaka. Gobia Thaka. It is a kind of a live-in relationship. It is a kind of a live-in relationship that the Tiwa tribal people who live in the hill region of Assam, they practice. Okay, so I hope that it is visible to you. So Tiwa tribal people, they practice Gobia Thaka. Gobia Thaka. Now, Gobia Thaka, it is a kind of a live-in relationship that they are practicing, and many number of times the relationship is with the minor girls as well, 16, 17 years of age as well. Now, this is a cultural practice that they are doing for so many of the years. Actually, the issue that comes here is that nobody have educated them. Nobody had made them aware that now whatever you are doing is coming in conflict with the POXO. Nobody is telling them that what you are doing is coming in conflict with the Prevention of Child Marriage Act. They are just doing it as a part of their cultural practice. Now, arresting these people out of the blue will not completely be a kind of a social justice oriented measure. This is one issue that has come. Okay. Now, guys, so therefore it has been provided that certain types of minorities, tribal people, their practices, they often become criminalized. Their practices often become criminalized. So what has happened? It leads to, again, often the prejudices against the minorities, and often the poor people will become the target of such kind of a crackdowns. Okay, this is one very big issue that has come. Now, the article is talking about, see, there are no shortcuts or no quick fix solutions for women's empowerment. Okay, what is the only meaningful thing? Better nutrition to the women, better health services, relevant and affordable education, fine, decent job opportunities to the girls, fine. This is the way by which the the ages for the marriages can be advanced. So this is something that needs to be focused here immediately. Now, guys, there are many issues that have come. Basically, the many of the men who have been arrested, the husbands who have been arrested because they have married the women who were underage, these husbands were the only breadwinners for the family. Now they are in the jail. So the point is that the girls' welfare anyhow hasn't come. Okay, the family who was dependent on this male, that family entirely is now suffering. The point is that law, yes, they are to be applied, but at the end we also need to ensure that the way in which the laws are being applied, that particular way itself doesn't become too much intimidating. So these are certain assessments that are needed to be done. This is, guys, an example where a well-intending law had brought many of the challenges. Law is well intending, the law is good. We are not saying that the law is bad. No, law is good. But the way you apply law, fine, that is something that needs to be taken up. Now, moving to the next article. Okay, guys, so this is the article that we have taken up. Now, if you see this article, you read this article, you will find that the article is very, very important. Standalone videos will also be made in this particular article. But see, do we really have some concrete information in this article on which the question can be asked? Let's analyze that. So first of all, let's read the heading. Heading says, wildlife enthusiasts spot 145 species during first Sundarban Bird Festival. 145 bird species have been spotted. Now the point is that, can you remember these 145 bird species till your prelims examination? The answer is no. Is it clear or not? So point is that, do we really have some kind of a much information in this article? Guys, no. See this thing. Actually, what has happened? The first ever Sundarban Tiger Reserve, the first ever festival Festival for spotting the bird was organized by Sundarban Tiger Reserve Division, and in this festival 145 different species of birds have been identified in the Sundarbans. Okay, now there are two of the birds that have also been identified which are threatened, that is the Eurasian curlew and lesser sand plover. These two birds were also spotted. They are threatened. Okay. Now, when we talk about, guys, the Sundarbans, though 145 species have been spotted, more than, okay, 145 species have been spotted, but still there are a lot of threats that the birds are facing here. That is plantation activity along the chars. What is a char? Char is a river island. So riverine island, within the river there are the sand islands that are often formed chars. So these chars, river islands, are being used for the plantation. It is impacting their habitat. Moreover, illegal activities on uninhabited islands, this is also impacting their habitat. So this is, guys, the only information that we have. So therefore, though article will look very important for you, but much of that important thing is not there for the examination. I'm not talking about any mock paper. I'm not talking about any coaching test series. I'm talking about the prelims examination which is conducted by UPSC. Now, mains practice question for the today. So mains practice question reads, as the 21st century advances, security problems will grow at an exponential rate. In this context, discuss the need for reforms to deal with emerging problems such as cybercrime, dark web, unchecked social media, etc. So guys, this will be a question for GS paper number 3, internal security, and it will be a 10-marker question. It will be a 10-marker question. So that is all, guys, about it. So with this, we come to an end to the today's session, guys. Guys, I hope that you have understood this all these articles, and I hope that you have enjoyed this session. Guys, if you have only liked, only then please do hit the like button, only if you like it. Moreover, the comments that you leave on the video today, I am thankful to all of you, and so many comments we receive every day. Thank you so much for that. I personally read every single comment of yours. Okay, now there is one question, sir. I have doubt about OBC certificate. If a candidate is working in government and paying tax, OBC depends on my parents' income or my income, if any chance to get OBC. See, it actually depends on your parents. Is it clear or not? Fine. So you can have that. Now, moving on, guys. So that is all about the today's session. Thank you so much, guys. And now we'll be meeting on Monday. Till then, please take care of yourselves.